Hello everybody and welcome to another video on this channel here, and I promised you that we would do more things besides theme parks. We would cover all of Orlando and we do all kinds of stuff, and I want to do something different today. I want to give you guys a review of something that I purchased and waited a long time for. What would I consider a long time? It's not really a long time in the grand scheme of things, but what I consider a long time, and I actually got it, and I want to tell you guys about it. And that is going to be my AirPods. Now, when I ordered my AirPods, I ordered them in December on the 23rd, I believe it was, or something like that. And I didn't get them till February, like the middle of February. So I waited like almost 2 months to get my my headphones. So I ordered these. I ordered them because you see what they do, and you see they fit in this case, and you pull one out and put it in your ear, or two in your ear, and it works, and it's just magical, and all these things, and they looked fantastic, and I had to have them. And at the price point that they are, I think they're a little pricey, but in my history of using Bluetooth stuff, I've gone through many Bluetooth headsets, and I find a lot of them to be the volume not to be loud enough. The batteries don't last. Before I got these, I was actually cycling through headsets. My brother got me some for Christmas from Walgreens, and they were just cheapo, junk, Chinese. They lasted about a month, and then they died out. They actually stopped charging. So it was just cheap, and they didn't sound good, and they didn't fit at all, and it's just a mess. And I like EarPods. I've always liked EarPods. The headphones that you get, I like the style of EarPods. This is actually another pair that I purchased a long time ago that it's Bluetooth, but it's shaped like EarPods. And I love the design of EarPods. I love the way they fit in your ear. And I love the sound that you get from EarPods. I think you get a nice, rich sound. I think you get some excellent lows with it. It's not too bassy, but it's not, and you get some nice highs too. The problem that I have with headphones like Beats and things like that is they're all bass. Preferably, my favorite set of headphones are Sony V16s, MDR V16s. And these are headphones, I'm probably giving you the wrong model number, but these headphones here, I probably have a pair in here somewhere. Oh, I do, right here. I have a pair of them right here, the Sony MDR V6s. And these are these guys right here. And they say studio monitor on them. And I'll explain that and why they say that in a minute. But these are MDR V6s. These are classic, iconic headphones. If you look through the span of the last 20, 30 years, you'll see, starting like in the 80s, you'll see people were starting to use MDR V6s. And especially in studio settings, if you see people recording in a studio, or you see a music video where people are recording in a studio, they use the V6s because the V6s are as close to natural sound as you can get. You can't get any more natural than the V6s. That's just the way that they work, and they have a pretty good frequency range, although they have some now. The newer version is much higher frequency range, but a lot of that range that you get, you can't even hear. So there's no point to it. It's just kind of pointless. Unless you're a dog, you can't hear the much higher frequency ranges, so there's no point to it. So I bought these because there's an intriguing portion of that. When you say something is natural sound, you're basically hearing audio as the person intended you to hear it. So whatever they did in the studio, however that was recorded live, whatever, you're hearing that audio basically as it's supposed to be as it's supposed to be heard. And with things like Beats, you hear them, they add extra bass and all this stuff, and there's equalization involved, and it's, no. I just want a crisp, clear, natural sound. And that's what these provide. So when I'm looking to have a sort of premium, what I consider a premium audio experience, because I do consider myself a little bit of an audiophile, when I do want that premium experience, I go for the V6s because I think it's your best bang for the buck, because you do get that natural, flat sound. So you get to hear it as, I feel, as the artist intended you to hear it. And that's kind of a unique thing. I know it sounds kind of pretentious, maybe, but just try them. And you can buy these. Or when I bought these, they were on Amazon for like $70. you can probably still buy them on there. They're not expensive at all. I mean, considering you'd pay, you know, I've seen headphones that cost $30,000. I've seen most headphones, decent headphones, Beats are $200, $300. You know, so you can get up there on headphones. Ultimate Ears are $1,000 if you want their premium, like, you know, piece that's made specifically for your ears. So you can get up there, but for $70, these are definitely worth a try. And there's a lot of things. These are interchangeable too. A lot of the stuff on here, you can change out these ear pads, and there's all kinds of stuff. So, but I'm going on a bunny trail here. So let's talk about AirPods. AirPods are, in one word, amazing. So you basically have this little thing. It's tiny. I know probably in the video you can't see how tiny this is, but you know that little keyhole, the little key pocket on the side of in your pants on the right hand side? We've always had that key pocket there. If you wear jeans, you have that pocket. These fit in that pocket, and that's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. These fit in that pocket. Now, what's nice about this is this case is a battery charger, and you have, not only do you have a charger, you have the two headphones right in the case. So you have the two headphones, you have the charger, and I'm not going to pull them out because I don't want it to, actually I can't pull it out. There you go. There's a headphone right there. They're tiny. They fit in your ear. They're not too heavy. They don't weigh a lot. You know, I've heard people say it's kind of mixed on whether or not these stay in your ear or not. But for me, they do just fine. They stay in my ear fine. I use these all the time when I walk the dog. It's just convenience. These things are all about convenience. It's you with the W1 chip inside. You have the single pairing. So the simple pairing. You open this up, and then it pops up on the screen on your phone if you have an iPhone, and then you hit connect, and then bam, it's connected. And that connects it on all your devices, iPhone, iPad, or Mac that are connected to your iCloud account. Now, one device it doesn't work on, which I do use it on pretty regularly, is my Apple TV. In order to get it to work with your Apple TV, you have to hold this button down on the back, and then as you have this open, and this little green light in here turns white, and then it'll actually, you can go on your phone and or your Apple TV and pair it. And that's how you pair it on other devices that are not set to work with the W1 chip in there. Now, what's nice about these are, between the ease of connection, and then you have, what I like being able to switch from devices. So I might be listening on my phone, and then I might want to switch to my laptop. And all I have to do is go into like my Bluetooth settings on my Mac. There's my AirPods in there. I select the AirPods, and then it connects to them, and bam, it switches over. It's seamless. There's no work involved. The same with the Apple TV. It's connected to it and my phone and everything else, but if I go in there and hit connect to my Apple TV, bam, it's ready to go. And the best thing is, this chip inside is so smart that it saves what I listened to last time. So if I put the device back, if I put the headphones back in here and I close it up, and I decide 10 minutes later that I want to listen again to that, it doesn't automatically default to my phone. It goes back to the Apple TV. So it tries to connect to the Apple TV to do that until I switch it over to the phone or what have you. These right here are fantastic. The battery life is stellar. It takes me about, I'd say 30 minutes to an hour to charge this case, because the case is a battery pack to full power. That'll last me about 3 to 4 days. If I use it all day, I would say a charge on the EarPods themselves, if they're both 100%, because mind you, you can use one, you don't have to use both, you can use one or the other. So sometimes a lot of times I only listen to the right one so I can hear what's going on outside me, especially when I'm walking the dog. If I want to hear if a car is coming or whatnot, I put the right one in and listen to what I'm listening to, and then I just have the other one out there. So if they're both fully 100% charged, you can get about 6 to 7 hours battery life out of the headset. That's a real number. Like, you really get that battery life. I know Apple says things sometimes and it doesn't really work out that way. Well, these actually work out that way. The other thing is, the case is about 3 to 4 days of battery life. Just this case alone. So that's recharges, because if I drain the headphones, let's say they're 100%, and I drain them down to 10% and I put them back in the charger, that only uses like 5% of my juice in this case. So it's crazy. You can listen to, I know they said 24 hours on this thing, 24 hours of listening with this, but I'm telling you, it's a lot more than that. grossly underestimated that number, and in my experience, it's been a lot better. One of the other functionalities, there's no buttons on here. There's no volume. There's no play pause. There's none of that stuff. It's all controlled by Siri. So what you'll do is you'll have the earpiece in your ear and you'll double tap, and then Siri comes up and asks you what you want to do. And I find this to be good and bad. Siri can be a little temperamental. Sometimes it's hard for me. Sometimes it's easy for me. I use it a lot for texting. So I'll tap her and say, text blah, 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 this. And then she'll go and text and she'll say, okay, I have your text ready. And then when she says that, I always say, because she'll say, okay, do you want me to send this? And I'll say, read it back to me first. And she'll read it back to me and we'll see if she got it right or not. And there's times when she doesn't get it right. And then there's times where it's kind of windy outside and I'm walking and she just can't seem to get it right. So I have to try a couple of times and then really enunciate what I want to say, and then she gets it right. So that can be a little cumbersome. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's that big of a deal. But I do like the functionality with Siri because I can start a radio station. Like I can say, hey Siri, put on pop music. Play some pop music, and it'll load the pop music station. I can double tap and say play next song please, or next song, and it'll go to the next song. I can say turn up the volume. Everything is controlled by the Siri commands, which I know a lot of people have complained about, but I'm okay with this. They seem to work. It seems to work really good, and there's a lot of things that I can do and things like that that make it a good choice. I like it. I can, one of the things I learned too is you can do Twitter and Facebook from Siri. So I could go in there, tap, Siri, post tweet, and then she'll say, what would you like to tweet? And then I read out the tweet to her, and then she goes on, and I can add hashtags and all this other stuff. I can tag people, all these things. So it's pretty robust in what you can do as far as tweeting and things like that. Facebook as well. You can write out a Facebook status from your AirPods. You don't even have to pull out your phone. I find that just fascinating. Also, I have my watch too, so my watch helps out a lot with that as well, because I can just talk to my watch and have it do Siri, and then I can see what is going on there. And I think this all goes back to this thing of not pulling my phone out. I don't want to have to pull my phone out. So I love my AirPods. I think the only thing I would do is maybe tune up Siri a little bit. One of the things that I've been, I'll give you guys a little tip that I've been doing. One of the things I've been looking for is, if you've seen Amazon's Echo, the Dot, if you've seen the Amazon Echo in general, one of the things that it does is you can say, Alexa, what is the latest news? And she will give you you set up basically a list of news sites that you like, and she gives you these audio clips that have the news in there, and it's like, a minute's worth of quick briefs of what's happening and so on and so forth. And I really, really like that, and I wish Siri had something like that, but it doesn't. But I did find an app called Otto Radio, OTTO Radio. You can look it up in the App Store, and I'll include a link in the description below here for the iPhone App Store, and they have one for Android as well. And you go in there and you select your interest, news-wise, just interest in general, and then you search for keywords and find and put things in that you like. And what this software does is it creates a briefing for you. So I usually set mine, you choose a duration. You can have it set to, however long you're traveling in your car. They have a functionality that works with Uber, so it'll create a playlist based on how long you're going to be in your Uber. It actually connects to the Uber app. But I usually set mine for 30 minutes because I do about a 30-minute walk with a dog at night. And you download this playlist of stuff to your phone, and then it plays through. And like the first 10 minutes, I would say, is actual news stories. You hear people reading you the news and so on and so forth. And then after that, they go through and they find podcasts that you might be interested in. And it's found some really good ones that are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, even shorter than that give you a little quick burst of information and then kind of move on. And it finds those for you. And you can go in like a regular radio app and say, okay, I like this, I like this, I like this, but I don't like this, and you can do that and sort that out. And then as it learns what you like, it'll keep adding more and more to your playlist. So I've had pretty good luck with it myself. So it's definitely, if you're someone that wants to just hear the headlines quickly and then kind of listen to some podcasts, I just like to have some information, hear what's going on, and then learn some cool stuff. And this provides that for me, and it's really cool. So it's a nice addition to have with the AirPods. But everything with the AirPods works perfectly. I mean, the Apple Music, I can't say enough about Apple Music. It's just a fantastic service. If you're invested in the Apple ecosystem, Apple Music is the only way to go because it's just so deeply integrated into the phone that you can do anything. So, I guess the final question would be, at 169, are these worth the price of admission? Are these worth $169? And quite honestly, for the ease of use, I say yes. Now, do these have rich, deep bass like a pair of Beats headphones? No. And I will say this: one of the things I did see on other sites like Unbox Therapy and a few others, or on other channels that were talking about these, is they did mention that you have to crank the volume up to get those lows. You have to get it kind of high to actually hear some lows. And I have noticed that myself. I have to get it fairly high before I actually hear the bass. It just doesn't kick in. It's just all treble. But that's not really an issue because I listen to my music a little loud anyways. So I'm not really concerned about that too much. So overall, I think these things are great. I mean, the size is perfect. It's a lightning charger port, so I just plug in lightning and I'm good to go. I don't have to do anything, and if I want to watch it with the TV, it's saved in there. I can just pop it on, pop the headphones on. They're great, and the range is really good. I've set these down on the table, this down on the table, and put my headphones in and walked all over our house, and I haven't had any issues with losing audio or anything like that. So it's been a very enjoyable experience. So I highly recommend AirPods. They're a very hot item right now. I don't check your local Apple store if you're interested. Check the Apple Store app. It'll tell you what's available and so on and so forth. But definitely check out AirPods. They're really cool. It's a really cool thing. It still blows my mind that this little thing fits in my pocket and it's just so convenient and does all this audio and stuff. The technology today is just amazing. We live in truly. I mean, I think I sound like an older person when I say that, but we really live in a golden age. I mean, we have so much stuff that's right at our fingertips, and this is really cool. So check out AirPods. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Sorry for the late video. Have a good evening.